We'll keep watching and keep you updated, guys. For the moment, though, we're going back to the phones. We've got Chris Cowlin on the line, actor, writer and Spurs fan, just reviewing Tottenham's performance against West Ham at the London Stadium today. Of course, Tottenham securing a 1-0 win courtesy of Eric Lamela. Hello, Chris.
Hello, James. Hello, Richard. Good evening to you.
Hi there. Good evening, matey. Thanks for taking your time to contribute on the show. So Tottenham, a professional performance today. What did you make of it?
Another professional performance. It's now 7 wins from 9 Premier League games. We are not firing on all cylinders yet. However, we've got the 7 wins out of 9. We're sitting 2 points above, 2 points adrift of Manchester City at the top. For a club supposedly in crisis about the new stadium and no signings, etc., etc., it's not a bad start, is it?
It's not at all. And actually, listening to the commentary and some of the reports, it sounds like Hugo Lloris had a good game today, which I'm pleased about, because I know he's had a couple of games that haven't quite been maybe up to his level, but it sounds like he was back to his best today. Absolutely.
West Ham had 4 shots on target, and Hugo produced 4 fantastic saves. I think the BBC and some other media outlets gave Hugo man of the match, but there were some superb performances today. Eric Lamela, obviously the match winner, got the goal. A great performance by Moussa Sissoko, and he gets a lot of stick by Spurs fans. Some of it is probably deserved, but it was a real good performance today, and this is what this Tottenham team are all about. People coming in, they're grinding results out at the moment, and I know a lot of people, a lot of non-Spurs fans, and even a lot of Spurs fans use the term Spursy. There's not that Spursy feel anymore, and when you can grind out results and you've got a number of players out still, you've got Dembele and Eriksen on the bench, and glad to see them come back in the frame already for midweek at PSV. But it's great because we've got a very, very good squad, and when people like Moussa Sissoko can come in and do a good job, that's what they're there for.
Harry Kane still looking out of sorts. What was his performance like?
I still felt Harry Kane looked a little tired, but he holds the ball up so well. The ball goes up to him and he does a job. He's not all about goal scoring. He's worked on his game so much. And, a lot of people just put it down to goals, but he works so hard for the team. And, a good performance again, by everybody in the Spurs shirt. And it was obvious that, every Spurs player wanted to win today, and that was great for the fans.
Is this the kind of game, we're watching the games today and you've got City looking very, very convincing, 5 goals there. But is this the kind of game away at West Ham? Not an easy game. West Ham who have been resurgent to a large extent, certainly the last few weeks, obviously not so good last time out. But to go there and nick a 1-0 victory, are these the kind of games that will give Spurs a realistic chance of challenging for the title?
Absolutely. But I don't think that any Spurs fan or the management would actually consider us to be title contenders this year. The main aim is top 4 again. Let's hope we get in our new stadium very soon and play well in there. But what a start! For 7 wins out of 9, and you say about going to West Ham, it's not an easy game. Is there an easy game in the Premier League? I don't think there is. You can meet a team in top form, or you can meet a team at the bottom of the league, really wanting a result. So every single game in the Premier League, and I know everyone says it, but it is true. Every game in the Premier League is not easy. But going to West Ham, a lot of Spurs fans call it West Ham's cup final, because they're totally up for the game. Every time they play Spurs, they're really up for it. And we shut them up today. And it was a thoroughly enjoyable day, a thoroughly deserved win for Tottenham, and another good 3 points.
So Chris firing the shots there at Hammers. How did the front 3 of West Ham look today? Because, they played so well against Chelsea and Manchester United, didn't turn up against Brighton, and today another
loss. That's not a question for me.
well, no, just your opinion on it. What did they look like? Well, were they in the pocket of the defenders? Did they cause any problems?
I think that Tottenham dealt with everything that West Ham threw at them, and as I said, they had 4 chances. They had 4 shots on target, and Hugo Lloris dealt with them very, very well. But I think defensively, Tottenham dealt with everything that West Ham put to them. And Arnautovic, I think, is a great player. I'd take him in the Tottenham squad any day. And I think that, he could potentially, I know it will probably upset a lot of West Ham fans, but he should really be playing at a much better and a bigger club.
Just want to touch on Lamela. Obviously got the goal today. How important is that for Tottenham? We were talking a lot about Eriksen and the impact that he has, and obviously he was involved today, came on as a late substitute. But how important is it that the likes of Lamela step up?
Oh, it's hugely important, and that's why I was saying earlier about Sissoko. When you've got, the last couple of years, for every Spurs fan, we've been looking for game changers, someone to bring off the bench, someone to change the game in the last 20, 30 minutes if we need to. And, people like Eriksen sat on the bench today. Got Lamela playing today. Lamela in the last 5 or 6 games has been great for Spurs. A lot of us think that, he should be in the starting lineup, in the starting lineup today. But it's very, very important when a lot of these attacking players step up to the mark. Extremely important. And as I said earlier, that when you've got players, so many players out injured and so many players then come in, it's very important that they take their chance and, take it with 2 hands and grab the opportunity when it arises.
When you mention it, you think he should be starting. At whose expense? Because when you look at Tottenham,
good question.
I don't really see, where you change. It's kind of an evident strongest starting 11, isn't it, the Spurs?
Absolutely, but since the start of the season, as I said, we're not firing on all cylinders. We certainly haven't over the last couple of years. Based on the last couple of years' performances, Tottenham's performances this season have been very, very different. But it's been our best start to a Premier League season, which is really, really weird because when you look back at some of the games over the last few years, we perhaps should have got a lot more wins, and we're not playing as well as we have done, and we're getting the wins and we're grinding the results out.
And just a quick word on Harry Winks. Obviously had a start today again. How impressed have you been with him recently?
Oh, absolutely. Another player that's come from the youth system, and it just says what Tottenham are about, producing such fantastic stars for the future. It's just great that, people talk about how much money people spend, and when you've got the likes of Harry Winks coming through, and of course Harry Kane come through the system as well, it just proves that, what great work Tottenham are doing, and very, very impressed with him, and he's got a great future ahead of him.
In fact, just got to give a quick mention, my old academy manager, John McDermott, who's obviously doing a great job. Yeah, doing a great job at Spurs.
Well, thank you very much for your contribution, Chris. I hope that you're not acting, pretending to be a Spurs fan there. Is he still with us?
Go to every game.
Oh.
I'm at PSV on Wednesday night, so looking forward to that.
Oh, excellent. Well, no, it's just because it says in front of me, actor. So I was like, I hope they haven't got him on pretending to be a Spurs fan.
You can't act being a Spurs fan. It's in you. And
you definitely have to pay someone a lot of money to do that role. Well, listen, mate, thanks so much for your contribution on the show. That's Chris Cowlin, actor, writer and Spurs fan there, just giving his perspective on that result at the London Stadium. Tottenham winning 1-0 against West Ham today. Don't go anywhere, though, guys. We've got to take a little break, but after that we're going to be speaking to 2 ex-pros, Ewan Roberts and Kevin Gallen, as we review Cardiff and QPR's performances today.